Hello everyone, I'm Heidi Durant, and today I will be using a culturally relevant event such as YouTuber apologies as my field of study for my final proposal. In the current state of the world, the coronavirus pandemic is in full effect, but not every influencer has chosen to abide by nationwide guidelines. Multiple influencers such as Tana Mojo, Jake Paul, James Charles, Nikita Dragon, Erica Costell, and many others are now being called out publicly for their selfish behavior. Today, I will further explain the dangers of going to parties during a pandemic, propose a research question, and explain how apologies rely heavily on performance. For the past several months of quarantine, many YouTubers have been posting pictures and videos of themselves at social events and gatherings. These influencers have often been criticized for not participating in social distancing, not wearing face masks, and not caring how it might affect themselves or others. Many YouTubers are rich and privileged enough to afford at-home COVID testing and are able to receive the best care when and if they do ever become positive, while normal civilians are not as fortunate. In order to flatten the curve, it is imperative for all Americans to wear face coverings in public, avoid any large gatherings, practice social distancing, and listen to all updated health guidelines. Using this ongoing situation, my research question asks, how are influencer apologies used to control positive public perception in order to avoid losing followers? To complete this research, we must first collect data, which would include the different types of apologies posted by influencers regarding being in large gatherings during the COVID-19 pandemic. These apologies may be found in video form and written posts. For example, one of these pieces of data would include an apologetic Instagram post by Tana Mojo. After collecting data, reading through and grouping similar words or phrases would be used to find common ideas throughout these apologies. By grouping different types of rhetoric used by influencers, we may be able to see commonalities amongst them and how they portray themselves as apologetic and regretful about their decisions. These words and phrases may be truthful for some, but are also used to influence their image in a positive light. Performances are heavily embedded in this phenomenon because influencers are essentially persuading their viewers to believe that their apologies are sincere and that their behavior will no longer be repeated, which may please their audiences. Another aspect to observe would be the public responses and if their apologies are working to their advantage. Are these influencers receiving positive or negative feedback? Are they gaining or losing followers after their responses? These are the ways in which I would go about answering my research question. This topic is highly relevant today because the coronavirus pandemic is clearly still affecting the United States and so many other countries around the world. Popular influencers should not be exempt from being criticized for not following basic health guidelines just because of their fame. These influencers are not only putting themselves at risk, but everyone they come into contact with at risk. These YouTubers should be held fully accountable for their inexcusable behavior. As influencers, they are very much influencing the public that it's okay to go to parties and to be surrounded by a group of friends without wearing masks. It's very disturbing behavior to say the least. If it weren't for the general public calling these influencers out, it is likely that they would still be participating in these activities. Observations in performances are used to distinguish what language is being said to communicate forgiveness, and eventually if they will be able to live up to those words. A theoretical lens will further explain the motivation behind the apologies would be impression management. Impression management is a theory that is used to control public perception which completely aligns with my topic. Self-preservation motivates actions and explains why influencers apologize in order to maintain a positive image. Throughout this proposal, I've explained the context behind the situation of influencer apologies, proposed a method of research, and described how this topic is extremely relevant during the coronavirus pandemic. Thank you for watching.